Good evening and welcome to our August board meeting. God bless you for being here on a beautiful 82-degree night. Thank you for being here. Town Clerk Greer, would you please take roll call?
Sure. Mike Ferrara.
Present.
Frank Seneca.
Frank, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here today. Not paying attention, but I'm here.
Steve Churchill.
Here.
Don Dyson.
Here.
Caitlin Laskowski.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance in a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Don't know.
Here yet.
Enjoying the weather.
He's probably doing the last minute.
Yeah. Making copies of something.
Yeah.
Anyway, before we get started, just a couple of updates I'd like to clue people in on. First of all, I'd like to again welcome Peter Sosha to his first official town board meeting. Peter started yesterday and today was the second day, so again, Peter, welcome and good luck. We finally have gotten RFPs out for the water meter project. It took a lot of hoops to jump through on MRB's part, and Rhonda, thank you. A lot of red tape when we were working with the EFC, but we're finally out, and they are due at the end of the month, and hopefully we can pick a contractor and get started this calendar year on the project. So happy about that. We received RFPs back from the design and construction management part of the town's GRI Public Works project, which is at the Visitor Center, the Community Center, and the north side part of the canal. Myself, Joel, Murray, Kirsten, and Greg Zellers are going through the RFPs. I think we received 5, and also Department of State. I've sent them copies. They need to review them as well, and hopefully we'll be able to choose a contractor or a firm for the design part of it and the construction management part of it, and get started on that as soon as possible. We have not received the third contract for the North Side Canal project, but we have signed contracts for the Visitor Center and the Community Center, and the clock is ticking on them. We signed those contracts, I believe, in May, and the clock meaning we have 5 years to complete those projects. So those clock is ticking. I received the auditor's report. It's an annual report from Buffington Holtman CPAs out of Auburn. That is the CPA firm that we use to audit SMI's records for their contribution to the community, and our report came back with no issues or anything on their part. If any board member would like a copy of that, I can get that to you. And let's see, we received our second ARPA contribution from the state for $441,947.39. So that's a total of about $882,000. In September, I'd like to form a committee with a couple of board members, the town manager, to start coming up with some ideas. There's a wide range of use for the ARPA money, and I think we need to sit down and start talking about some of those things. 2024 is the clock on that money. So basically, we got to start thinking about some projects or anything we want to use for those. And I think that's all the updates I have. We have one petitioner to the floor, and I'd like to, before Barb comes up, Barb, you're here, right? Yep. And I got my flyer today, and it was very nice and colorful, and hopefully that'll make an impact. But you're up. There's a microphone up there for you.
Okay, great, thanks. How long can I talk, Mike? Thanks, Nick.
One of your
Well, hello, my name is Barb Reese, and I live at 104 State Street in Seneca Falls. I've been here for over 20 years. Thank you for allowing me to speak tonight regarding Seneca Meadows' application for expansion. Many are probably aware of the details of the application. Seneca Meadows is proposing to landfill over the Tentellos site, to increase the maximum elevation to 843 feet above sea level, which is a 69-foot increase in height. This will give about 47 million cubic yards of airspace, which with the current density allows them to add another 40 million tons of municipal solid waste, allowing operation for about 18 more years. And so in the context of where we are right now, the landfill currently has about 70 million tons of waste in place. So this next expansion will give them well over 100 million tons of waste. So it grows pretty fast at 6,000 tons per day. So I'm asking you as town board members to deny Seneca Meadows expansion request and to stick to the planned closure in 2025. I'm asking that you stop negotiating a new host community agreement with the landfill and instead uphold Local Law 3 of 2016, which prohibits the operation or the expansion of landfills in the town of Seneca Falls after December 2025. So I have two things that I want you to consider regarding this request. I could list more, but you're limiting me. So first thing, number one, Seneca Meadows odor mitigation program still does not work. The reporting is flawed. As a town resident, I shouldn't have to wake several mornings a week and call to report an odor complaint on my property that's coming to me from 3 miles away, only to be told by a report from a landfill employee a month later that no odor was detected at the site. I shouldn't have to be at work at the high school and close my window because I can smell the landfill at my workplace. Exposing residents to air contaminants which may contribute to illness and lack of enjoyment of property is a clear violation of New York State environmental conservation law and to the most recent amendment to our New York State Constitution that says that each person should have the right to clean air and water and a healthful environment. Also, most recently, the DEC is considering updating solid waste regulation to prohibit new or expanded landfills within 1,000 feet of schools or homes. My aunt bought her home on Burgess Road in 1985 because she read in the paper that the landfill was closing. Her property backs up to the landfill. The landfill is too close, it's too large. Please stop the expansion. The second thing I want you to consider is that there are these local and state laws that are on our side to prevent this landfill from growing any larger. And so, how did it get this big? I ride my bike around town and I turn and I see the landfill and I'm amazed that this has happened in the 22 years that I've been here, that it's gotten this large. It seems that since 1983 when they took ownership, we keep seeing a series of expansion requests every 7 to 10 years. So we've seen it throughout with trash trains, with everything. This board right now is going to decide how large this landfill will grow. So I'm asking you, please deny this expansion and enforce the local and state laws that protect the health of your residents and your children and grandchildren. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any petitioners for the floor? Yes, sir.
Good evening, Supervisor Farrar and the Seneca Falls Town Board and everybody here. My name is Mark Pittifer. I'm here tonight speaking on behalf of Bill Lutz and the Waterloo Container Company. Like Barb, we saw on the agenda, there's a proposed resolution to authorize the landfill committee to begin discussions for a new host community agreement, contingent upon whether or not the DEC approves Seneca Meadows expansion. We're taken a little confused and concerned as to why the board would even be discussing the possibility of negotiating a new host agreement with the landfill when their own negotiated closure date is clearly on the books, as well as Local Law 3 of 2016 coming into play. Pair that with the scale of the environmental impact of the expansion and a plethora of other issues, we don't really see the justification for discussing such a task for this committee. The landfill committee should be working on enforcing the odor limitations and documenting where the landfill is not in compliance currently with the host community agreement on the books now, not looking to negotiate another one. Also, this board should wait until the scoping and environmental analysis is complete due to the massive scale of this toxic environmental impact on our community. So Seneca Falls can decide if it's in the community's best interest to allow the landfill to continue to expand and operate within the town. Negotiating the agreement now is prejudging the community impacts of the landfill without the benefit of actual analysis and would be rushed and politically motivated instead of being based on information, analysis, and the safety of everyone in Seneca Falls. Yet, with this resolution, it brings into question whether or not Seneca Falls is this board's highest priority. Seneca Meadows is suing the town. Its odor regularly seeps beyond its boundaries, breaking the town code. And we, the hard-working women and men of this community, feel left behind. We sincerely hope that you take to heart everything we've said here and consider the interests of everyone in Seneca Falls before making such a decision. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other privileges of the floor? Okay, thank you, folks.
Post community chapters. Order to.
Thank you, Carol.
Thank you.
Can I have a motion to approve the regular monthly meeting of July 5th, 2022, please, the minutes?
Make the motion.
Thank you. Second? Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
So carried. Can I have a motion to approve the special meeting minutes of the July 12th meeting?
I make the motion.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. We have three communications in your packet. Discover Seneca newsletter, minutes of the Heritage Preservation Committee, and minutes of the Heritage Preservation Commission meeting of July 26th, as well as June 28th.
Mike,
Yes, sir.
before we go into old business, I'd like to make a motion to go in executive session to discuss a personnel matter related to a personnel issue under Public Officers Law 105F.
A second.
I'd like to move we approve the communications.
Oh, okay.
We don't have to formally approve them,
Sorry.
but if you'd like to make a motion to approve them, I'd be more than happy to. Make a motion, I second it. All in favor of
Aye.
approving the communications? Aye. Is there...
You want me to read that again?
Well, yeah, you better read that again, so you get a second. Oh, you second it, right,
I
Don?
second it,
Is
yes.
there action taken on your request?
I don't know till we come out of the meeting. And we're gonna come back in the meeting, so if there's action, we can take care of it when we come back.
So at the end of the agenda, there's an executive session as well. Do you want to include everything in this executive session, or do you want to do them in two parts? Because if you cover everything in this executive session, you gotta let these folks know, because they could be out here an hour waiting.
Yeah, we can cover everything. Are you agreeing with that? You
Yes.
second it? Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
everything at once.
Okay.
What's the purpose of the second executive session?
I have executive session to personnel matter and the sale of real estate.
So that people know what's going on.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, anybody opposed? Folks, for an executive session.
Yeah. Sorry.
And you're good with that?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
We're going to call the regular session back to order. Town Clerk Greer, Caitlin Niskoski made a motion to exit, seconded by Mike Flora. Okay.
Oh, Dawn second.
Down second, whoever. Okay. Before we move on, we have one more privilege of the floor, and so I'd like to accommodate that privilege. When you get to the podium, sir, just your name, your address.
All right, thanks.
And we have a 3 to 4 to 5 minute break,
All right.
but nobody's holding the clock, all right?
All right, my name's Smitty James. We bought a place on Lower Lake Road, and seems like these Airbnbs are sort of taking over, moving in. You've got people walking their dogs, not cleaning up after them. You've got people coming across on other people's property and think nothing of it. Just following up with looking at what some of these other towns have done. You know, they've passed laws where they've got to have an application to be an Airbnb. They come and do an inspection. There's a fee. There's another fee for every additional bedroom. The exit plan for emergency and all this needs to be laid out. And it's been one person after another that, all right, here we go. You know, here's our line, you know, trying to be nice about it. Cleaning out the basement, first day I look out, there's a guy fishing on the dock. Hey, what are you doing? He says, oh, we're fishing. I said, no, you're on private property. Oh, we didn't know that. So in this description, every place should have is a map of, you know, their land and what it is. You got these Airbnbs putting out excessive garbage, cardboard, recycling, and they're blowing up and down the road because they're putting them out Thursday, Friday, whenever.
Mr. James, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Are you a full-time resident of your property, or are you?
Yes, no, we have no intentions of renting it.
No, and I just want to, all valid points, 100% in agreement. I'm not sure if you're aware, we have a committee, a zoning planning committee, that's been working on short-term rentals, including Airbnb. It's going to, no action's going to happen tonight, but in September, that ball will roll. We have things written into it. That committee is meeting again August 12th to take some suggestions from the board members who've had a chance to look at everything now. There's actually 3 things we're trying to do. Airbnbs, 1, anaerobic digesters, and signage. But all that's being considered. There'll be a public hearing in October.
September.
Pardon?
September before the vote, right?
I don't think, we're not taking any action on any of them tonight. We're going to wait until
Right,
the
but
plan.
I thought the public hearing is in September.
That's the original plan, right, Pat?
Yes, yeah.
So, but nothing's going to happen, the public hearing won't happen in September, right?
Well, if you're gonna vote on it in September.
No.
It's under old business, and we're not moving it out of old business.
It was just pulled entirely,
Right.
right? Okay. No, so it's still there. It's still pulled. It's still pulled. We've got suggestions from board members. We're going to try to incorporate them into the final version.
The old business, I thought we're proposing to have that local law
No.
open,
We're gonna-
public hearing in
We're
September.
going to look at them again and
Okay, good, that's fine.
Yeah, the planning board, the planning zoning committee, as I said, we're going to go through it August 12th, and then come back with changes.
That's good.
Is that 10 o'clock in the morning, Mike?
Yes,
10, okay. Anybody can attend?
absolutely. Usually that room right there.
Okay.
All right.
So
anyway,
will the public have access to that?
That meeting?
Yes.
You're more than welcome to come. Just give me a heads up. My email is mferrar@senecafalls.com.
All right.
And I can make an accommodation
Okay.
for you.
pen? Write it down.
Now, what's your address on Lower Lake Road?
2503, I think,
What side of the firehouse are you on?
the north.
The north side? Me
Yeah.
too. I'm 2423.
You close to Bernie?
No, I've got the red Miata in the driveway.
Okay. All right.
You guys want me to set up a lunch appointment?
Yeah, so we can talk about this.
Well, I mean, I know what he's talking about.
Absolutely. We all know what he's talking about. Absolutely. 100% agree. That's a problem. That's why we're trying to address it. 100%. It's been a problem for many years. We've had many people come to this board from your area and Frank's area with the same issue. And it's getting worse than better.
Yes, right.
There's got to be some control, no doubt about it.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, yep,
Thank
thanks.
you very much. Okay. Old business.
I have something under old business.
Well, we're going to start off with stale surplus property.
Put me into G.
Okay, so on 60 State Street, we've been engaged here with the purchasers' attorneys, and they've got a title report, so we're trying to address the issues that are raised in the title report, and none of them are particularly serious. However, they have formed an LLC. They want to take title under the name of the LLC. So I'm asking the board to adopt the resolution so we can recognize the new LLC as the successor in interest to the folks that this town board previously enacted a resolution to sell the property to, and also entered into a contract, a purchase and sale contract with those people. So we just have this resolution to recognize the LLC as being the same people, and then also authorizing the supervisor to sign all the necessary documents to complete the transaction.
So moved.
Second.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? So carried. Thank you, Beth. The comprehensive plan is still on there. One of the top 5 things that I've given the town manager to determine what his role would be in that comprehensive plan, and how much support we would need from outside advisors. So that's not done yet, and as I said, he's been here 2 days, so that will be coming forward. Yes, sir.
We could leave it up to the town manager to decide on what outside agency would be the best to work with, right? We don't have to get involved in that, do we?
Absolutely. Letter C is off the board, and D, E, and F, again, we'll be addressing in our September meeting. Frank, letter...
Mike, if I could, when it comes down to hire a consultant, only the board is hiring anybody. The town manager has no authority to
They make the recommendation.
or spend any money.
That's what I thought
Making
you meant.
recommendations.
We have to authorize the spend.
All right.
No offense.
Gotcha.
Okay, G.
It's all right.
Going all the way to G? Okay. I just want to be on record again that I think we should be putting the sewer line down the Ludovico Trail. And I want to just take 2 minutes to tell you why. Because I researched out that in order to do the eminent domain, you had to do a plan on going down the Ludovico Trail, and you had to do a plan on going down Baird Street. And why you had to do both plans is because you had to prove that going down the Ludovico Trail was more cost efficient and better than going down Baird Street. So somewhere in existence, there are 2 plans out there on some computer some way, where, and also the Baird Street, it's been so long, I know the Baird Street one has to be updated, and I'm sure the Ludovico one would have to be updated if we took a look at it and want to pursue eminent domain. So I'm just bringing it up again. I know the stuff is out there, and maybe in September, I will draft a motion to go down the Ludovico Trail. If I get 3 votes, I get them. If I don't, well, then I've done my due
But I would
diligence.
suggest you meet with Leeson and Barton and Judas before you make up your resolution, and hopefully you understand, yes, both plans
It's
were...
gonna take a little while.
Again,
But the-
every day you
but
wait...
the stuff is still flowing.
Every day you work, it's not a matter of flowing, every day you wait, okay, you're costing the project money, okay? So if you're down eminent domain, it's gotta go to front of a court, and then whatever the court decides, it will be appealed. And you're putting this project 2 years forward, okay?
Yeah, all I'm going by is...
Be my guest, you have that right as a board
The
member.
article you put in the paper said we could save millions of dollars. If there wasn't that...
We could have saved millions of dollars if the sewer
Now,
line was
is it
in,
now?
when the sewer line was in when it was supposed to be in 4 years ago, yeah, we wouldn't be in this position. Absolutely right.
Well, how much is it down to now? Half
Down
a
to-
million?
I think the sewer line, the last time I looked, was 2.7. That's hasn't got out the bid yet.
I'll talk to Lisa.
Frank, you
I'll
may
get
want to
your
check
number.
with the court. The court ruled against your idea.
I know they did, but that doesn't mean you can't go back to the
That
court.
will cost some more money too when you make the resolution.
Okay, you have the letter H, or you're all set with... All right.
Done.
Let's see. Okay, can I have a motion to accept the approval of special events?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you. Any questions for Missy? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. I have a resolution here authorizing the court clerk to attend conference training. Resolution to attend the annual New York State Association of Magistrates Court Clerks Conference and Training.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. That is a budgeted item, by the way.
Mr. Supervisor, we did not talk about committee reports, or not.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're 100% right. You're 100% right. I'm sorry. Okay, that's a good point. We'll stop there. So everybody has gotten their reports from the different departments, as well as our engineers, as well as our MRB group. So I guess I'll ask the question, is there any questions for any of our department heads? Any questions for Rhonda? Any questions for Lisa? Okay, then I make a motion, we accept the...
I would, though, like to make a comment. Reading the reports, the one report that really struck me was Parks and Recreation. And I think it needs to be part of it is part of the public record, but I think people need to be made aware, because there are some folks that don't think that Vince's Park is of much value. But as I read it, as we all know, it's been a really hot summer. Every day, I mean, my pool has been over 80 degrees since, I think, Memorial Day, which is, it's never been that way. But Missy wrote that the pool is open 7 days a week and has been hosting swimming lessons, 2 morning sessions and 1 at night. So it's getting used extensively. The pavilion has been booked all summer, and it has been a great success, along with the softball leagues and other gatherings under the outside pavilion. There's been improvements made out there. It also was we saw the bicyclists here a couple weeks back cycle the Erie. They helped out there, and they staged some of the folks out there that people used the pool and enjoyed it. I mean, that facility is a gem, and I just think it needs to be recognized. And I think our Parks and Recreation Department is doing a super job in running that this year. So that's all I wanted to make a comment.
I agree. Thank you, Mr.
Well stated, absolutely, 100%. My pool's at 87, but let's put the heater in.
It's almost, well,
The lake is 82.
Okay, any other questions or comments from the various department heads, engineers, MRB? Then I'll make a motion, we accept those reports. Have a second, please?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Resolution, let's see. I have a resolution here authorizing the town supervisor to sign a memorandum of agreement, MOA, with the police chief, Stuart Peenstra, for consulting services, whereas Chief Peenstra has advised the town board that he will be retiring December 31st, whereas the town board would like to engage his service to assist the Seneca Falls Police Department as it transitions to his replacement as chief of police, whereas the town board desires to have Chief Peenstra available for consultation and advice from January 1st to June 30th, 2023, whereas Chief Peenstra will be available to consult with the town supervisor and the town board to extend required to facilitate the transition process, and Chief Peenstra will be paid $1 per month for his services. Therefore, be it resolved, the town board of Seneca Falls authorize town supervisor to sign the MOA with Chief Stuart Peenstra. Can I have a motion, please?
I make the motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? So carried. I have a resolution here, finally, Sarah, I apologize, to appoint Sarah Wright as principal account clerk for the town of Seneca Falls.
I make a motion that we appoint her principal town clerk.
Thank you.
I second it.
Thank you. Any discussion? I should have did this last week, or last month. Sarah, we finally got Sarah's results back. She scored,
She also scored
62
number 1
or
on the list.
63 or...
No, scored 90.
It was just passing.
I'm only kidding.
Oh,
It was just passing.
Only kidding.
Just
Yeah, she scored
right
90.
off
All right, so Sarah, congratulations.
Thank you, Sarah.
Keep up the good work, okay? Just quicker, all right? Well, we didn't vote on it yet. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, anybody opposed? Now we can clap.
You get 2 rounds.
I have a resolution here to appoint Tim Pagano as water sewer maintainer, whereas the water sewer department has an open position for water sewer maintainer for the past 2 years. Tim Pagano meets the qualification as per Seneca County civil service requirements. Tim Pagano has requested a transfer from the town highway department. The water and sewer supervisor has interviewed. Mr. Pagano has approved the transfer. The town board of Seneca Falls agreed to appoint Tim Pagano as a water sewer maintainer at his currently hour rate of $28.77 effective September 5th, 2022. Mr. Pagano will be provided a 30-day probation period in the new position. He will not be allowed to transfer out of the water sewer department after the 30-day probation period. Can I have a motion for that, please?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
I'll second.
I will second it.
No, Caitlin said.
Caitlin second, okay. Discussion. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? So carried.
You missed E,
Pardon?
E, number E.
Number E, I'm just following your file, everybody.
No, you missed.
All right.
Oh, I never had anything there, did I?
Yeah, resignation of the highway.
I know that, but there's no paperwork on it. I'm just
No
going through the
paperwork,
file.
no.
Okay, I would like to make a motion to accept the resignation due to retirement of our current highway superintendent, Jim Peterson, with deep gratitude and resignation on my part, knowing that he will be sorely missed with his 30-plus years of service to the town of Seneca Falls. So I'd like to make a motion for that. Can I have a second, please?
Second.
And
Let's not give him a big head, though.
we're not. In September, we're going to recognize Mr. Peterson and his accomplishments in September. So
That won't take long.
Jim's will take effective August 25th. Do we have a motion and a second? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Jim, again, congratulations and thank you for your many years. And living with that. I have a resolution to authorize the landfill committee to begin discussions for a new community host agreement with Seneca Meadows contingent upon New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, DEC approval of the landfill's expansion. Whereas the town's current community host agreement with Seneca Meadows expires 2025, whereas Seneca Meadows has applied to the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation for an expansion permit, whereas the town should continue discussions with Seneca Meadows to improve odor mitigation, complaint reporting, traffic control, and financial contributions contingent upon the DEC approval of the expansion, whereas the community host agreement would be in effect only if the expansion permit was approved. Resolved that the Town Board of Seneca Falls authorize the landfill committee to begin discussions with Seneca Meadows on a new community host agreement contingent upon approval of DEC of the expansion permit. Can I have a motion for that, please?
I'll make a motion.
A second, please.
I'll second that.
Discussion.
Yeah. First of all, it's a little confusing. Is this, the way this reads, is this the landfill committee going to begin discussions for a new host community agreement now or after the DEC makes their determination?
Now.
Okay. I will not support this, and nor do I think this board should support this, because to negotiate any new host community agreement, number one, this is putting the cart before the horse. We should wait till the DEC makes a determination. The request has been made, they're evaluating there's really two permits that they're trying to get. They're trying to get approval for the Valley landfill expansion, and they're also, I assume, have applied for an operating permit beyond 2025, so 2026, and for the next 10 years they'd asked for this last permit they got for 8 years. But I think it's premature to start to try to construct a new or negotiate a new host benefit agreement, because that's going to cost us money. We need to pay for attorney fees to do this work. So that's spending taxpayers' dollars on an unknown, because the DEC may say no in a year or two. And we've expended all of this money for legal fees and wasted time. So I say wait till the DEC makes a determination. If they hold up a green light, then maybe you go forward and begin negotiating a new host community agreement. But it's premature to do it at this point in time and spend the taxpayers' dollars. It would be it'd be the wrong thing to do.
Further discussion? Okay. All in favor, please say aye. Aye?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
No.
No? Okay. Why don't you take a roll?
I'll take a roll.
Take a roll call, please.
Okay. Steve Churchill,
No.
Frank Seneca,
Yes.
Mike Ferrara,
Yes.
Tom Dyson, Caitlin Liskowski,
Yes.
The three ayes, 2 noes?
yeah.
So carried.
Would this committee also be, once you appointed, to look at post-closure, now that you're putting the cart before the horse?
There's currently a post-closure part of the current host agreement policy, but there's a community host is currently
But
one.
with the DEC, so,
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But that would have to be updated as well.
but wouldn't that come after the DEC?
Again, it's all contingent upon the DEC. From what I understand, the DEC is not going to grant the expansion. So, but if they do give them the permit, I think the town needs to be in a position where they can.
And who's on board? Who's the committee?
That committee was appointed in January. That's myself and Caitlin Liskowski.
Is the town manager on it?
Well, it didn't have a town manager in January, but
Well, for 90.
probably will bring him in, 92,000, bring him in to those discussions. Yes.
You would think so.
Oh, absolutely.
Good idea.
You know, I just got one more comment, I think. You know, in a perfect world, you would think that anybody who indirectly or directly got $200,000 to $400,000 injected into their campaign by the landfill shouldn't be on a committee to negotiate a new community agreement.
Thank you.
Are you
And this-
suggesting that I
this
have
committee-
money
this-
dumped to my campaign? Are you suggesting that?
They spent $200,000 on, yes, to get
No, they didn't.
yourself and Frank.
Foil it. You can foil all the campaign.
It's
That is
been-
absolutely incorrect, and that's slanderous. That is
It's not
incorrect.
slander. They spent
It is
200
slander,
they spent
Steve.
200,000.
That is wrong, and that is inaccurate. That is slander.
Thank you.
The website's still out there with your name on it.
What website?
What is it called? Responsible Citizens for
I'm
New York
not
State?
associated with them. I can't control what it is that they did on my behalf.
I'm just saying they spent $200,000.
That's on them. That is not on me.
Okay.
I only spent.
I didn't say it was on you. I said they spent $200,000.
Did they put it into my account?
Let me put it this way, the same entity.
Because I know what I put
the
on-
same
what I
entity-
paid.
I didn't say they put it in your account. The same entity that we're talking about is currently suing the town of Seneca Falls because in one of the bases that they're suing the town of Seneca Falls for local law number 3 is that Annette Lutz was biased. Biased. Well, aren't we talking, if somebody gets $200,000, I don't know where it goes in their campaign, but it's for their campaign, not my campaign. I think that makes that person who receives that benefit biased. And I would think the landfill would say, look, we don't want you folks vote, you guys should recuse yourself, because that's what they're saying.
I suggest you
Mrs.
be
Lutz
very
should have done.
careful.
They're saying that Mrs. Lutz should have recused herself because she was biased. I would argue that the folks that got $200,000, $400,000 after the last 2 campaign cycles should recuse themselves for anything related to the landfill. The only person that should be able to vote on a landfill issue in this board is myself.
Hey, listen, if I got 200,000, I'd resign.
I didn't say you got it. I said the campaign was benefited, directly or indirectly, by $200,000, and that's true.
That is not
true.
what you said.
Can I, you can keep discussing or arguing or whatever you want to do, but there's an old saying in life, elections have consequences. And there was an election, and the people of Seneca Falls overwhelmingly spoke in that election, okay? Now, you can say they were bought off, or you can say this campaign had more money than that campaign, but there was two incumbents who ran, who had a great deal of finances behind them also. So the bottom line is the people of Seneca Falls who voted spoke in that election. You know what? There's another election in 2023, and they might speak differently, or they might speak the same language. We'll just have to find out. But continue discussing.
Is local law 3 still on the books?
It is officially, yes.
So how can you do a resolution to propose something that's actually in a way in violation of what the people of the town voted in? Why don't you vote out?
The 2016 board voted in, correct. Yeah.
But it's still on the books, correct?
It is still on the books, right?
So
and
is it
at some point,
is it in a way of violation of local law 3?
At some point, again, there's going to be no official agreement with the landfill. This is discussions on if things move forward, this host agreement would be in place. That's all.
But it's on behalf on behalf of the landfill that the town board is influencing the DEC, isn't it?
This town board is in favor, the majority of this town board, I'm sorry, the majority of this town board is in favor of the expansion of Seneca Meadows.
Well, then what is this to have with local law?
They don't even make negotiations that much better.
Let this gentleman speak.
The election of those officers.
So local law 3 stays on the books until the lawsuit is resolved, or what?
The lawsuit is been granted. The Court of Appeals did not hear the lawsuit. The Appellate Court of New York ruled 5-0, okay, last year, they sided with Seneca Meadows on the lawsuit. The Article 78 lawsuit, okay? This is not the actual, this is the Article 78, whether certain things weren't done by the town at that time, and the Court of Appeals sided with Seneca Meadows. Or, yeah.
No.
So now the Appellate Court sided with Seneca Meadows.
No, that was only on the timing. That was only on the timing.
Yeah.
Seneca Meadows filed their Article 78 to get it, after local law of 2017 was thrown out, and we went to court and to challenge them and said that they filed their Article 78 too late.
Correct.
That's what was overturned.
And the court
said it had nothing to do with local law 3. The court hasn't evaluated, hasn't even heard the case on local law 3.
100% right.
Well, you were saying that they evaluated the basis for local law 3 and
they said it was an Article 78. It was about the timing of the law.
Timing of their complaint against us.
Correct. Yes. Okay. So now it goes back. Now it goes back to the New York State Supreme Court, which is in Waterloo, and that process starts there. Okay. This board, okay, by a 4-to-1 vote, has decided not to pursue the lawsuit any further.
There was no vote. It was done in executive session. You cannot take a vote in executive session. That's correct.
The majority of
this board decided we are not going to represent ourselves, we aren't going to defend ourselves in court.
Okay, hold on. So executive session, you absolutely can take action in executive session. And litigation strategy is one of the specific things that you can have an executive session for. So
how about
but you can't vote.
How about
in executive session?
How are you going to determine what 5 people have to say about litigation vote strategy?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Aren't you just showing your hand for the 3 votes to say we're in favor of extending the agreement? If I was SMI, I offered the town $1. Why offer 3?
SMI's probably going to drop?
You just showed your hand. You're a pretty good negotiator, but boy, you fell on this.
No, I didn't feel at all, because there's no negotiations. The negotiation.
You're right, you've already granted them the extension.
If the town board decides that what the landfill is offering, and after negotiations, if they're not in favor of the conditions of that host agreement, it would never go into effect. But I can assure you, well, okay, you can roll your eyes, but I can assure you in the negotiations, odor mitigation will be addressed, okay? Odor complaint will be addressed.
Leachate?
Nope. Leachate,
That's right, that's clean.
Odors in the
Correct.
current agreement.
odor
addressed.
will be addressed, traffic will be addressed,
Unenforced.
okay? And then finally,
You've already had those discussions. so-
I've had informal discussions, but those are the things that we're looking for, okay? And then at some point, what's gonna be the financial contribution?
But they violated the current host benefit agreement for how many years, so it doesn't matter. It's not worth the paper it's written on. The only thing that comes out of the host benefit agreement is how long they're gonna let this town's not gonna stand in their way for operation, and how much money you're gonna give us for that.
Mike, it's just not your style to answer part before the horse. And with that.
All right, thank you.
Supervisor Farr, can I ask you a quick question?
Yes, sir.
Will that committee, which we appreciate saying is going to address some of these issues that affect our company and our employees daily, will that two-person committee meeting, potentially 3, be open to the public?
No,
And why is that, if I could ask?
not required to be open to the public.
Not required not to.
That's why it's a two-person.
Not required to be open.
Well, I mean,
When I conducted police negotiations with the PBA, it wasn't open to the public.
well, who cares? We're talking about the landfill.
Who cares? Well, the police care.
Every other committee meeting's open to the public.
It's not a, it's
Yeah,
just,
could you,
It's not required to be open to the public, that's why there's 2 people on a committee as opposed to 3. So it's not a forum of the board, they cannot take any action. Any action is going to come from this board here, this board of 5 people.
okay. Next, Parks and Recreation, retirement of Wyatt Nicholson. I have a motion hereby, make a motion to accept the retirement of Wyatt Nicholson from the position of building maintenance
I make a
mechanic
motion
with the
we
town of
accept
Seneca
his
Falls.
retirement.
Due to, I just want to make sure it's due to retirement, okay? I want to make sure that's due to
August
retirement.
15th.
Correct. So got a motion and a second? I second it. Any discussion? Again, on behalf of the town board, I'd like to thank Wyatt for his years of service. Wyatt is retiring after 20 years, August 15th. And Missy is in the process of putting things together so we can get that position filled as quickly as we possibly can. Okay? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed?
Will there be a retirement party or anything for him? Or a get-together?
She doesn't want anything too big, but we'll probably reach out and do something formally cake.
Like at the rec, yeah.
All right. You could just let us know. I'd like
I
to
will let you know for sure.
Perfect, thank you.
You're welcome.
We have to, you, Peter, and myself have to get together here, okay? Talk about that. Okay, we have a resolution here, TASC agreement, ACA reporting, where the town of Seneca Falls is required by law to be in ACA compliance for federal reporting, whereas the town of Seneca Falls insurance representative Advanced Business Consulting works with TASC for compliance reporting. That include ACA reporting, FMLA, COBRA procedures, et cetera, et cetera.
I'll make a motion.
Therefore, I want to make sure everybody understands, therefore it's resolved that we were going to expend $9,765. This is not a budgeted number.
It's not a
Okay.
budgeted number, that's right.
Okay, I want to make sure that's clear. The funds would be transferred from contingency fund, A1990.40 to A9060.800 in the amount of $9,765. Have a motion for that, please.
That's for the first year. That's for the first year.
Right.
It would be a 3-year contract, but you don't have to keep.
Hang on
all-
1 second, hold your breath. Can I have a motion for that?
Steve.
I made a
In
motion
a second?
for discussion.
I'll second.
Okay, now discussion, go ahead, sir.
Okay, so that's just for the first year, that price is, it goes down after that. It's a 3-year contract, but you only have to keep at least one service. So if we, down the road, feel like we can do it in-house, being that there's more staff now in the office, we don't have to keep all of the services. We can change it the following year or after that, whichever we decide.
Is this time sensitive?
So I got some questions.
Time sensitive, that we're not in compliance, so time sensitive there, okay? Again,
I mean, is there a deadline for becoming compliant?
have we been cited? No. The answer, I don't know how else to answer that.
So there's no reason we couldn't wait for budget season so that this could be put in next year's budget?
But very good possibility. I don't, Sarah, I had to leave that conversation.
Well, we have to be compliant this year, so we can budget it for next year. but that's not gonna help us this year to be compliant.
So there is a
There is,
New York State requirement that says that we have to have
We have
this
to do it
done
yearly.
this year?
What is the penalty if we don't do it this year?
I did not get into that discussion.
So why
because I
wasn't
don't
it
think we wanna be audited by
How did this
the.
come about?
I think Bev did it in the past. We don't know for sure, but I believe Bev did it. My goal would be that we do it internally at some point here with the town manager, but we're not in compliance at the moment. Again, I don't know the consequences. If you want to table it until September, I can find out what the consequences are and get back to you. In the meantime, I can, Peter and Sarah and myself can see how we can fulfill the responsibility without paying for it.
I got some questions. Did I get a chance?
Everybody has a chance, right?
All
I don't know why
right,
you
here we
keep
go.
asking me that.
How come the proposal's dated July 26, 2022, and they're making us pay for a year? Why doesn't it get prorated?
It doesn't get prorated for the ACA reporting because they have to go back to January. So they would be reporting for the entire year.
So they'll be reporting for so they're gonna do it retroactive. So we gotta pay them retroactively, even though they only
the
emerged
entire-
on July 26th,
Correct, because they will be
2022.
reporting for the entire year.
And I think there is, what other question did I get? Oh yeah, I was just wondering why it didn't come up in January, but Steve already asked that question. And I just wondered who was doing it from January to July 26th.
So it's a little bit confusing. So some of the COBRA was being done through the previous insurance people. The 1095Cs were being done by Bev. The COBRA was
So if
not
the other
necessarily
insurance
being
company
done.
was doing it, why should we have to pay this company? I don't have any problem paying them from July 26th, but I got a problem going back to January. If it was being done in January, whether it was being done right or wrong, it was being done. All people make mistakes, humans. So I got a problem paying the whole 9,000. You know, if it was 4,000 something, I could probably vote for it. And the other thing is, there is a clause in here, and I just can't find it right now. If we do sign this thing, there is some tricky clause in there that we can't get out of it without paying the next year the full amount. I wish I would have circled it with my pen, but.
How about, let me just solve this problem real quick. I'm gonna make a motion that we table action on this particular
I'll second.
agreement.
I
A second for that?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of tabling this, please say aye.
Aye.
Pat, did I do that okay?
Fine, you can always do a motion table.
Okay. So with that, I will find out what the consequences are, and I'll give Peter an opportunity in the next week or so to see how he can grab his hands around the situation and provide that compliance. Okay. I have a motion here from the town clerk.
Did we carry that table motion or anything?
Yes.
Yes.
Did we?
So which one?
Motion to table.
Okay.
No. Pay who?
No. Motion to table the action
We-
on that.
yes.
We did do it.
Yes, I'm
Okay.
sorry.
I wanted to be sure.
That's what I found on the web.
Is that
The town clerk is requesting the board approve the selection of Linda Wolcott to fill the vacant part-time deputy town clerk position. Ms. Wolcott will be working 3 hours per day, 1.5 hours will be charged to the town clerk's account, 1.5 hours will be charged to zoning. Her duties will include clerical as well as zoning duties. She'll also act as secretary to the Heritage Preservation Commission, Planning Board, and Zoning Board of Appeals. Ms. Wolcott's start date will be Wednesday, August 3rd, 2022, and her rate of pay will be $18.28 per hour. Motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion or questions for the town clerk? All in
Hey,
favor?
did we include the solid waste committee to do the minutes? No, can't do that.
There's
Thought I'd
so
ask.
many committees.
All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? So carried. Is there any other new business from this board? Make a motion that we pay, accept and pay the, or not pay, but provide water credits. You have the list there, you have the explanation, you have the rationale. You have a second for that, please?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion or questions for Sarah?
Yes, I have a lot.
Ask a question for Sarah, okay?
Yeah, no problem. I'm just gonna make some statements. We're approving, okay, first you can't realize what you're actually doing if you don't know what a cubic foot of water is. A cubic foot of water is 7.481 gallons, so everybody can imagine lining up 7.5 gallons. So cubic foot of water is hard to think. So what we're going to approve is 996,454 gallons of water down the drain. And, you know, I need more information on some of them, like the person that says, oh, my toilet was running for 400, hold on, this is the best one of all. Let me find it. 400. Early on. The first one, 66,000 gallons of water. The next one, for 59,700 gallons of water. 71,000 gallons. This one here, 85,000 gallons. I gotta find the one, the big one. I must have went by.
While you're looking, I'll just remind people that once...
This one here, 246,000, and there's one for over 400,000 gallons. The guy that's got the $6,000 water bill that said he didn't hear his toilet running. Now, if he was in Florida and his toilet broke, or like last month we approved for Mr. Galena, he was either passed away or in the nursing home, the heat went off, the pipe broke, it was $11,000 building. Those are circumstances beyond compare. But if you're in the house and you don't know the toilet's running for 400,000 gallons of water, like, something's wrong with you.
Well, can I make a couple of suggestions? One, you're on the Water and Sewer Committee. I would suggest that you meet with Sarah, and Sarah can explain all these things to you.
Mark Baker, 446,000 gallons.
Okay, you're on the Water and Sewer Committee. You can meet with Sarah, and she can explain those to you moving forward. And the last thing I want to say is, again, I've said this numerous times, with our new system of water meters, this will all go away, because now in the office, they're going to be able to detect immediately if there's some type of loss of pressure or water, and that it can be addressed quickly.
So I'm the secretary of the fire department. So at the fire at Ferraris, we pumped from the water station, you know, came out 1.7 million gallons. We're approving 58% of 1.7 million gallons today. Almost 1 million gallons of wasted water. When people are dying for water out west, they don't have any water. I'm going to vote no.
Okay, that's your prerogative. You can vote no, yes, you can do anything you want. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed?
No.
That's carried 4-1.
And another good reason we need to protect our very valuable Finger Lakes.
Absolutely.
And we should be thankful.
Can I have a motion to pay the bills, please?
I make the motion.
Second?
Second.
Second. Have a motion to adjourn, please.
I make the motion.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, folks. Have a great night.